Hey,
Mate.
mate. How's it working?
Yeah, I'm not too bad yourself, mate.
Yeah, good. Good. All right.
How you keeping?
I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
surviving, right? So,
no,
not, yeah, just a bit like everything's a bit up in air, isn't it?
yeah,
Sort of
no,
whatever
exactly,
is
mate.
happening.
So
Yeah.
should we get straight into it then, mate? I don't want to keep you waiting around.
No, no
All
worries.
right, so first of all, welcome and thank you for coming on. So it's not always easy to get everyone on here, but first, just obviously just touched on it, but how you keeping mentally and physically?
Yeah, good. I think it's something that obviously everyone's really worried about, isn't it? Trying to be mentally active and physically active. I think it's good there's so many like, challenges out there, and people are, especially in football, lots of clubs and players are pushing each other a bit. So everyone gets everyone can be kind of motivated by something they want to do. But yeah, you got to try and keep your mind on something as well. So for myself, I'm a teacher, so I do a lot of that as it is anyway. So already sending out lessons and coming up with responses to students and stuff. So that's personally that's fine. I think a lot of other people are going to be struggling, but yeah, you can only really control what you can control, can't you?
Yeah, I think one thing that I've noticed definitely from social media with the football clubs, we've all come a lot closer together in terms of what we're doing. We're all like sort of getting involved on social media, linking with each
Yeah,
other. So it's good to see, obviously, in such a bad situation.
definitely. Yeah, I think things like the FIFA tournament you guys did was really good, and that just shows there's lots of people out there who are go through the same thing as everyone else, and
Yeah.
it's nice to share things like that because then you do get that sense of community, don't you? So,
And obviously now based on the football, I mean, what league are you not playing in?
so we're in the Surrey Southeastern combination, which runs leagues from sort of step 13, actually no, probably a bit higher than that, maybe 12 down to 17. So it's quite a range.
Yeah.
So there's like the Surrey Elite League, which goes into the combined counties, and we're playing in. So you got the Elite League, three levels of intermediate, and then junior divisions. And we're Junior Division One and Junior Division Five. So there's two teams, and yeah, so we've been in that league now for 8, 9 years, I think. And it's pretty good. I've got to be honest, they've done pretty well. They locked us down pretty early on, um, which I think was probably the right move because there's a lot of teams, a lot of players got kids, a lot of players, got jobs that think about more than just the Saturday afternoons, unfortunately. So it made sense, and you might be inconvenienced. We had our last game we had teed up. We had a fantastic squad, like brilliant. First time everyone's available,
Yeah.
here we go, and they shut it down. You're like, oh, at least it's just one week. It'll be fine next week, and then it just keeps going. And
Mm.
you thought, well, all right. I mean, there's more things to worry about than just football. So yeah,
Yeah, of course. So how did you get on last season in terms of the league finishing, obviously before it ended?
it was pretty good because I think with most clubs that have, if you have multiple teams, they've all got their own personalities, their own culture, their own kind of, needs and expectations and stuff. And I think for our ones, we'd somehow avoided relegation. Um, I think the restructuring of the league probably helped us a little bit. And we thought, look, if we can just keep in this division, that's fine. Whereas with the twos, because we've had a very inconsistent amount of players, we thought, well, we're rebuilding again. So the twos ended up probably mid-table, and you think, yeah, that's probably about fair with the churn of players kind of
Yeah.
coming in and going out. But with the ones, they were I think first or second for a little
Okay.
while, and really punching above their weight. And I think we finished, I'm going to say fourth. So not, I think if at our level, and it's much the same with you guys, I would have thought the level we sort of play at in grassroots, that maybe some of the guys watching don't really get is that if the league goes, we reckon you could do all right a couple of divisions higher, you go, all right, or
Yeah.
they think it's not gone that well, we'll drop you down a couple of leagues. That's fine. That's you can have a conversation about it. And I think if we were offered to go up to intermediate, it's the wrong time for us because last season we had the same players we had this season, and they went from being beautiful football, really beautiful, elegant, great style of play and all that, losing 4-0, and the Oppo go, wow, what a great team you are, like really impressed. And you go, yeah, but it doesn't matter. We lost. It's like
Yeah.
it's nice to get the plaudits, but to not get the results is kind of annoying.
Yeah.
And so this season we've managed to sort of meet in the middle where we got the results most of the time, and the football's been really attractive as well, but not to the detriment of the result. So I think they did really well, and we want to kind of keep that going. So the longer we can do that, and we're keeping the core of the team, and we need to just add a bit to that to kind of push up to the next level, really. So a little way to go, I think.
So, I mean, what you've just said there just shows the progression you're making as a football club. Um, Talking about your play style, I mean, how would you describe that in 3 words as a team?
Well, this is the thing: is because it's changed so much. I think in the beginning it was tiki taka light, right? Now it's uh, relentless, dynamic discipline, and I
Pretty
think
decent words.
yeah. I mean, that's what everyone kind of wants. They want a little bit of a bit of bite to the team, but they want a bit of those everyone enjoy. I think the comparison with golf is interesting because people say if a terrible round of golf, but you hit one great ball, and you're like, oh, it's a brilliant day. The same with football. I think if you grind out a result, and we did this away. Who was it against? I'm going to look on my spreadsheet. We were away for the twos. That was it. Parkside Reserves, and we were garbage, pure garbage. And we'd had a couple of the ones available to pick them, and didn't make any difference. It was like we're shit. And I think we were 2-0 down. No, we were 1-0 down. Sorry. And it was like that could have been much worse because the defending was abysmal, me included. And I actually said to our coach, I went, I've got to come off. My head's out. I'm out of the game.
Yeah.
I'm playing so badly. I thought I'm actually making it worse because if I play badly, I get frustrated, and then you get annoyed, and then you just kind of shut your own game down. So I came off, and we made a couple of tweaks. Half time was just a complete bollocking, and we got an equaliser we deserved, but then it was back to the wall a bit, and we managed to get a set piece, I think, right at the end of the game, and our kind of third choice striker for the twos has gone around the back, and it's just like hit him, come back, hit the defender, and gone in. Like he's almost standing. Our guy's almost standing outside the post. He's just running to try and stop himself from going off the pitch, and it's just come back in and gone in, and it was a brilliant result, but it was awful to watch. So those moments you kind of go, yeah, the game was terrible. That moment in itself makes it a little bit more kind of fun, and everyone walks away going, "God, we are terrible," but what a great result! It's a laugh, and you feel like you commit the crime and got away with it, but it's still fun.
It's still a win at the end of the day, and that's what matters.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that's the tough thing is you can't. I don't think realistically going to grassroots going we have to have a win at all cost mentality.
Yeah,
because the kind of risk and reward is unrealistic. Like if it's Champions League final, yeah, I mean no doubt. The reward is lifelong adulation, right? But if you go into a game, in a really reasonable standard league, you want to compete, you want to win the game, you want to go toe to toe and come away going, I was better than that guy. But you have to think about, for me personally, and other clubs are going to completely disagree, so I take that on the chin. But you kind of want to go, I would rather we played our way and had a really close game, and maybe didn't get the rub of the green, or it's a close game and you do get the win, but you have to change your style to do that, and you don't mind those like that margin. I think when you go too far one side, you go, we have to win at whatever cost, so we're going to hoof it into the box and hope for the best and play 4-1-3. Off they go.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean.
Or the other end, yeah, we played beautifully, but we got humped. No one likes those extremes. I don't like those extremes. They get a bit like you come away from it going, well, no one's going to go to the pub and have a chat about the game and enjoy himself. See you next week. So yeah.
But I think like in the long term, like you just said there with the working as like a team stuff, if you work with something and stick with it, in the long run, it will work. So you may start losing your games at the beginning, but if you work on the exact same thing and you don't have that mentality to win at all costs, it will come in the long run. You will then start to win the games, and then both of them, you're playing nice football and you've got the wins coming through. And obviously that's what you want as a team and as a player.
Yeah, I think that's it. You have certain like teams and players and coaches will have their like absolute holy cows. Like you cannot do this because that's how I want it to be done, right? So a lot of times like timekeeping, for example, you've got to be there on time, or you're not playing, or you've got to have your clean kit, or you're not playing, that kind of thing. And I think it comes back to having an identity and having an ethos. And if you've got a strong ethos, this is what we're all about.
Yeah,
it's very easy to get. If you have players coming in who buy into it, you go great. And if players who don't, you go, well, thanks for coming, but you're not right for the club. So it makes it. You haven't got to have a conversation about going, well, I don't like the look of you. Or I don't think you're good enough. It's like actually you don't fit the ethos. So in that way, it's easier to be selective, and it is because football, unfortunately, is a meritocracy. If you play well, you do higher in the leagues. You know,
Yeah,
that's you know,
that's how it runs.
yeah,
We have had a comment in the Instagram chat. It's actually the manager of Barnstormers. He said the top 3 tips for a new team. So we made our debut last season. So
yeah.
just looking for some advice maybe on where we can sort of
Um,
get better.
I think we're a bit unusual because I'm such a like a bit of a control freak, so I end up doing lots of stuff, and that's actually quite it's good to begin with, but you've got to phase it out. So I would say inevitably the one number one tip is whoever takes over a team and starts a team, there's normally a core of players or volunteers who will do everything. And the risk you've got is if someone's not around, you have problems. So, for example, if someone's responsibility is to fill in the team sheet and give it to the ref, and they're not around and they've got the pad, well, you're going to forfeit the game or have to scrounge off someone else or whatever. So, not creating administrative bottlenecks is kind of the next step. Once you've got everybody up and running and things are happening, spreading that knowledge of how to run things. So, for example, submitting results. Right, we don't use whole game, which I think is or full time, sorry, which I think is going to change. So we use Mito, which is a bit pants, to be honest. So you have to make sure that someone, more than one person, has a responsibility to fill in all those details and has the passwords and so on. So number one is spread out responsibilities, I think, because also that builds ownership. So players who might only play 5 games a season, yeah, but if they're actually responsible for organising the Christmas party, well, it's very quickly that 5 games might become 8 games, and that party might have a bit more buy-in because that one person's actually taken over.
Yeah.
So that's number one is spreading out the admin. Number 2, I will stand by this till the cows come home. The team of individuals, right? The team has to come first. So if we've had some fantastic players who have not wanted to buy into the team, and we've phased them out. We've had people who are unreliable. You have to phase them out. And even if that means you've got, a Didier Drogba, an iconic player playing for you, oh wow, he's amazing, but he turns up an hour late, or he, isn't around, 3 weeks out of 4. Just say, I'm sorry, it's not going to work out, because you can't build a team that's ever going to win with players who are unreliable. Yeah. So you've got to be cruel to be kind is the message. So in the same vein, I've had one thing I did this season. I messaged every single player and every single squad that's played even one game for us and just said thank you, and given them a bit of an opportunity to give some feedback and try and get some ideas from them, which you might take as tip 2.2 anyway. But the idea is that because they can buy into it, that some of the feedback is we don't want to play with people who are unreliable. We don't want to play with people who are a liability on the pitch. We don't want to play with people who are, going to get sent off for being an idiot. Things like that. So that feedback helps you to kind of validate what we're doing, and as a club, it helps you to go, look, that behaviour is a problem, because you might not see everything. You can't be expected to do that. And the last one I think would be, we from day one, nobody wants to do the laundry. No one wants to wash the kit, and anytime someone does it, they get blamed. Oh, why does it smell funny? Why is it not dry yet? Where's that lucky sock? Whatever, right? So all the players should buy their own kit, and if they lose it, they've got to buy another bit. But you try and make it as easy as possible. So this season we're doing it fully. So we're gonna have a web shop, and players can go on, order their kit, name a number and everything, and get it themselves. Because in the past, I've taken another admin problem is you're getting all the orders, and you go, well, I can only really make it work cost-wise once we have 10 orders, because maybe there's a production minimum or there's a postage problem. You might be like 50 quid to post it from wherever. So you think, oh, I'll do it when we've got enough. So then you're waiting for people to give it to you. Yeah. And as soon as you send that email to people, oh, yeah, I need to track your bottoms. So it's too late, mate. Too late. So it just causes headaches. Yeah. And also, if you've got a bad, we've had a variety of suppliers over the years, both good and bad. And so, sometimes they can just make a business decision, and it ends up adding another 6 months to your order, and you're like, right, well, what does that leave us? So, and football kit, for example, is a lot of people love football kit, and me included. And I think the issue you have is we all know that in the Premier League and so on, teams go through kit every season. They'll change one of their 3 or 4 different designs. Yeah, and I think that means that for players, that the knock-on effect is obviously they're generating money for from their fans for the club. I get it. I get the business reasons. I think the problem you get when it comes to our level is that someone like Nike or an Adidas will change their kit every 2 years anyway. So you're like, well, we're forced into changing it. So even if you are you're a club where you go, let's buy the kit and put it in a bin bag and everyone picks it when they get there. Well, that's fine, but you're wearing kit that is built to expire. So inevitably 3-4 years, that kit, if you're actually in a physical game and running around a lot and it's stretching and people are grabbing hold of it and so on, is going to get wrecked. So it also alleviates the financial stress that a lot of clubs have, because if you go, right, we're going to spend 1,200 quid on kit, and then you don't get the money back, or you do get bits and dribs and drabs, it can be a real problem. So you need to actually make sure there's a way of managing that, so it doesn't negatively affect the club. All the players get what they want, and no one gets it. No, because anytime someone's blamed for doing something wrong, if that's a short pass back they end up scoring from, or if that's a foul throw, or it's the laundry, it's just you don't need those negative experiences when we can avoid it. So in the same way that we go buy your own kit because you don't want anyone getting lumped with doing the laundry, and then maybe they can't make the next week and it's a hassle. It's the same with doing training for throw-ins. Because if you give the ball away, everyone's going to bollock you for it. Well, then you put in place measures to, alleviate the risks of disappointment. So you get rid of foul throws by doing the right kind of training. You get rid of moaning by buying your own kit. I mean, yeah.
No, that was actually 3 really good tips, to be fair, and I think we'll probably take them on board. So what's your plan for improvement next season? Obviously, the 1's done well, they finished 4th, and the 2's are now sort of, they're going to solidify, imagine, what they've already built on. So what are the aims next season?
Look, I mean, we've got, I like to kind of split into the kind of off-field and on-field. So on the field, for us, we're unfortunately losing a couple of players, potentially, depending on how the coronavirus thing pans out. We might lose 2 players from the ones who have been really important to us. So, 3 players. I said like 3 players who have been really important. Trying to bring in more players into the squad, because we've got enough to field, a full squad with standbys every week for the ones, and that would be a competitive team. But we want to push on, so we want to try and backfill those vacancies with new players coming in who are going to raise the quality of the ones. So we're looking at, I think it's essentially a centre mid, a centre back, and an attacking midfielder, and those 3 roles, if you can bring those players through, or even those that maybe weren't as active last season and were borderline, become more active, and we push them through, then that's fine. So for the ones, that's absolutely right. We're kind of solidifying and growing to fill those holes. For the 2's, my view has been, we've for the last 3-4 seasons had a 2-man management team. So next year we're going to go to a 1-man management team. Not really a team, is it? A 1-man manager, a manager. Right. And I think what's going to be good is that gives him the sort of freedom to be more decisive, and to go out and like, sometimes you have to nag players. Look, you need to tell me if you're available. What's going on? So he has the freedom to do that, and I think that might make a big difference, because the core of that team seems to be pretty well established. The only issue we've got is our keeper. He's having a baby, so he's not going to be around so much. So you're then going, right, we need a keeper as well. We're hoping that we had in pre-season and the season before, fantastic striker. Didn't play a game this season because he got an injury. So you're then going, right, well, hopefully that player comes back and that gives us a lift. So those little things. In terms of off the field, because on the field, you kind of, once you've got in place like a routine and you've got the players, it shouldn't be too difficult to progress and to develop. And it's about getting the habits right, and new players that come in fit into those habits. But off the field, it's always something that you either have to, there's only 3 things you ever do. Something new, you get rid of something that doesn't work, or you change something for the better. And I'm trying to build a strong relationship between the men's team and the women's team, so that's going to hopefully build a bit more unity in the club. I mean, we can do more things effectively together. But for us, we've recently got our own home ground, so we're now playing in Upper Norwood. And the issue we've got is that whilst it's got an incredible changing room, it's got a really, really nice, spacious changing room with like 8 or 9 of these huge shower cubicles, all dressing space in it. It's beautiful. So basically, it's a girls' school. They only need 1 changing room. So it can accommodate, a class of 30 14-year-olds, go out to play netball or whatever. But we need more than just the one.
Yeah.
You know, we need to have an away change room, which at the moment we use in the school gym, like the you know,
Yeah.
which is not great. We're having the ref change with us, which is fine before a game. Sometimes not. It's a bit awkward after a game. So our kind of next step is now we've got the security of tenure. We've built, put the goals in. We've got some netting up. We've got a little kiosk for selling snacks and stuff. Is actually now we need to get a changing room. So we need to basically try and do some crowdfunding, or preferably not crowdfunding, but maybe some grant applications. So could be crowdfunding to get the pitch in a better shape. And my chairman and I have been down there, like, filling in the cracks. Obviously, when it's really hot like it is today, the pitches are turning and cracking up, so we're going to try and fill those. So there's like, the pitch is really the focus. So what we're doing actually this year is we've said we're not going to get a sponsor. Our belief is that a lot of businesses right now can't afford to sponsor football teams, so it's going to be quite challenging. Obviously, if you're a football team with, one of your players has their own business and they can afford to throw some cash your way, that's brilliant. Most teams, I think, would have a relationship like that, or a relationship with a pub. Well, we know that pubs have been shut for months, and a lot of them are going to go under, whether we like it or not. So our approach is going to, we've brought in 4 different businesses that cover printing and like photocopying, accountancy, gas and electric utilities, and the last one is point of sale equipment. So we've got 4 businesses. We brought them in, and what we're saying to them is, don't give us any money. We're going to basically get you new clients from the local businesses in our area. If those local businesses sign up with you as an accountant, then just pay us a bit of money for getting that business. So the way it works for us is we're setting this business network called Wanderers Business Network, basically. And the idea is small businesses in our area can essentially say, look, here's 3 months of gas bills. Can you make me a saving? And if we can't, then it doesn't cost them any money. It costs them 5 minutes to find their gas bills. That's it.
Yeah.
So the approach there is, can we use that strategy to generate some money coming in that allows us to pay for a professional grant writer, who will then, they believe they can access a load of grants for us that would enable us to build the changing room block. Because you're looking at, a 50 grand investment, so it's not cheap.
No, of course.
So we aren't going to find 50 grand on the back of the sofa, but we can certainly get the ball rolling with the sort of, income streams from companies who are willing to pay us for the leads we get there. So it's a bit of a longer play, and we kind of do need it. Need it to start relatively quickly so we can get the ball rolling on the changing rooms. But I'm pretty confident we can give it a good go and see how we get on. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Well, what we'll do, once you've got it all up and running, give us a shout and we'll definitely share it for you on all our social media as well.
Oh, amazing. Thank you.
But thank you for coming on. Obviously, it was a great interview to have, and obviously best of luck for next season as well.
Nice one. Thank you very much.
No worries. Have a good day, mate.
You too. Cheers.